We're from here, not Latin America. We're in the U.S. We're in Chicago at KubeCon, and unfortunately, we don't have these guys here at KubeCon, but eventually they will come. They're in Germany. I guess, guys, you are exactly where in Germany, and then I'll make us more brief introduction of who's Mitja and Roman.
Hi, hello.
Mitja, did I say that correctly or?
Yep, it's like nice to meet you. There's literally my name in it.
Okay, perfect.
So hello from Berlin, everyone. If you like rain, join us.
Okay, so let's bring the rain then. So a little bit about who is Roman and who is Mitja.
Hi,
This
please.
Yeah, go ahead, Roman.
A couple of words. Well, I studied theoretical computer science in Passau, just like backwater town in Germany. And 15 years ago, it was highly focused on AI. You might wonder. And after that, I was basically throughout several startups in Fintech area. And since 5 years now in Berlin, coming from Japan. So, and Roman.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Roman, also from Berlin, also from that rainy and gray city, at least at winter. And my background is actually engineering. I was studying in Bremen micro and optosystem or microsystems. And somehow I switched into automotive industry and worked for quite a long time for Volkswagen. So probably someone
That's
drives.
very German, no?
Exactly. So yeah, and then when I moved to Berlin, I met Mitya and decided to quit company, to quit Volkswagen so that we can start our own startup.
I'm so
Was
sorry.
yeah.
That's when everything started or the nightmare began. That's it.
Exactly.
And in fact, you're going to make fun of if you are any German friends in the webinar. Don't make fun of me, or just please do. But this is how artificial intelligence works, and it's herzlich willkommen an alle zum Rise of Fintech in Deutschland. Dem Top-Event bei
Oh,
dem Finanzen of Innovation Treffen. So basically, I just said, welcome to Fintech, Rise of Fintech, but in German. Of course, my language, there's a language barrier. But this is an amazing example how artificial intelligence can work as fast as possible. But even though we copy the prompts, there's a lot of things to be done. And one thing is my accent, and the other one is the prompt. But the most important thing is that you guys tell us from your experience, how do you start in artificial intelligence really, and what was the first challenge that you
um,
faced when you started?
okay. Well, I worked as a freelancer back then, and my biggest problem in the beginning was to avoid conflicts with my clients. And there was a particular story when a client refused to pay the full bill, saying that I'm late. I didn't deliver on time, and I was furious because it was a really difficult project, and it was a really difficult client, and I got changes and after changes, and those changes have been changed and so forth. So I sat down, spent a day going through all our emails, trying to understand who is actually responsible for my delay, and sent out a report. After this, the client had to pay me in full. Of course, there was a conflict of interest now, and I wasn't hired from him anymore. And I was thinking, well, what I have done in a day, a machine, especially a smart machine, can do like in a second. And ideally, there's a system, like a virtual assistant, who can identify a possible conflict coming up, and that can tell me, wait, meet with your client, meet for a coffee, wine if it's really, really conflict coming up, and talk about it, because there's obviously something building up. And I had a wall in my previous apartment and actually brought ideas what kind of conflict an AI can avoid. And in the end, I had a whole wall full of stickers. And when I met Roman, I described this wall because it's already several years past. And every time I talk to people about AI, their reaction was, what? So the human society wasn't ready. And a year ago, every time we pitched to a possible investor, and we said we are building an AI assistant. After those two letters AI, people stop listening because, well, let's go. You are crazy. You are science fiction. Go away. Then GPT happens. Now everybody knows two letters, and our path is finally possible. So that's why Roman said, yes, let's do that stuff. Let's do this.
And Roman could said yes because when I started before I started my career at Volkswagen and studying, I was actually running my own photography agency, and I could actually feel that pain because I had that in the past as well. So and through our discussion, we figure out it's not only the Mitya's problem; it's also it was my problem in the past. And then we talked to several freelancers, which we talk about with a lot of freelancers actually, and every of them said, "Oh yeah, we understand that. We know that pain. We know exactly how it happens when it's going wrong. So we need something which can solve that problem."
So and now we are on the verge of saying it is possible with the today technology language model to identify that a client is a complicated person and that you should send him reports every 2 hours, and that every time the client asks for a change, the system will say, well, it will cost you extra, you know? And we realized if you ask your client to pay extra in a week, you will be yelled at. The client won't be happy at all. If you ask, if you tell that it's actually extra after 2 minutes, well, sure, most people understand because it's extra work. So this is how the whole idea become a shape.
And it's amazing because what you say is so true. I mean, usually, if you get more than three changes from a client, of course you have to do it, but it should be extra, no? Extra cost. And it will be easier if things run smoother without so much friction between I don't like this and change and that. And what you guys did was like an act of magic, no? That's why it's called like that.
Abracadabra.
Exactly. And suddenly Roman disappeared. That's a good sign.
Well, I shouldn't have said abracadabra because every time Roma disappears, you know. Um, so it actually the scary thing about AI, even today, people don't expect it. It's still a party gimmick, and we strongly believe that our work environment will change profoundly in a couple of years, not because the machine is getting better, but because people start to trust it. So that's why it's time now.
Yeah, and in a way, thank you, Mitja. That you disappeared when Mitja said abracadabra. It was amazing, Roman. So what a good scenario, and everything was on
I
set.
just want
But
to make magic. I'm back.
Yeah, but one of the things that maybe from the people from Latin America, especially fintechs, and it's interesting. How's the ecosystem in Germany? I know Berlin is quite unique in the sense that there's a lot of startups, there's a big hub, but how's the how's the weather, Gen AI wise, in Germany?
Maybe with a short introduction. About a year ago, we started to visit meetups. And Berlin is a town where you have at least, I would say, 10 meetups every day about AI somewhere. So it's actually it's a lot of work to decide where you are going today. And we visited those meetups on a regular basis. We went there like for work. It's all about networking at some point. And biggest companies in Germany that work on AI are in Berlin. There's a huge company called Aleph Alpha, if anybody heard of it. Uh, I even don't know how many billions they now got in investment, but I think they are doing fine. And also, Berlin is a capital of fintech innovation. There are like really small teams that are building basically banks or banking services. And I've been all around the world. I've never seen a place that capable of pulling up a fintech company with such a small team so quickly as I saw it in Berlin.
Thank you,
Maybe
Mitya. Sorry,
maybe
Roman. Go ahead.
no worries. Maybe one additional point regards AI in Germany. There is also from the government the program to increase the speed of developing of those AI systems in general, also including the fundamental model. And last time I meet the lady who is now running the company which calls Nionic, and they are developing the fundamental model for the industry, including the financial sector. So let's say Germans in general, they are not really trusting in open AI and everything what's happening on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, at least on the part of the South North America.
You did disappear again? Yeah. Oh, there is a bug there. Of course, we're talking not so many good things about the AI, and maybe
I would
that's that.
say, I mean, about Berlin in Germany. Berlin is a town where you don't have Germans. So that's why it's really technological driven and fast. So, and I even read an article saying it's a government written article that say where people said European governments, Europe at large, will never succeed in AI run because you like to regulate things, privacy policy, and so on. There's a lot of truth in
That,
it.
that's let's stop there a little bit with a very concerning topic. Uh, that is what's good in the legislation, because usually we say that is not that good, but it's quite important. Specifically, Europe, I think, is a little bit more advanced than other regions in the sense that it has a framework. Do you agree or not agree? I think you're saying that that's one of the bad things about being so regulated.
I quoted for my own opinion because Germans start to regulate so early.
Mm.
It will be important to have this kind of advantage in 10 years everywhere. But they are basically writing the book today. And also, one of the truths about large language models, never do your own language model. There are so many models out there you can use. So Germans and Europe companies at large are using them, basically, and building business logic on top of it. So yeah, I would say Roman has here I would say industrial experience into.
Yeah, regards that question of the regulation, totally agree. And what we hear from the developers who is working in that area is that they provide already some kind of a boundaries for AI development. So that means at that early stage, you are not you are bounding your let's say resources on figuring out is it allowed or not, instead of just working, doing, and then creating the boundaries afterwards.
Let's get a little bit back again. Also, there was something that you say that is quite interesting, especially for Latin American people and fintechs. I know, and maybe we can say that Berlin is the capital of Europe, in a way nowadays, sort
Yeah,
of. And the fintech, I think it's the UK and maybe Germany, right? Especially Berlin.
well, UK was before Brexit, obviously.
Yeah.
So I spent maybe, I don't know, at least 10 years in fintech, and I can summarize it. Fintech is everything that a bank will never do, as simple as this. And 2015, if I'm mistaken, the German government made a law, you might wonder, that every bank has to open their processing centers to an open API.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so in Germany, there's one API where you can access any bank, and this is free for everybody to use. So, and as you can imagine, if you have a computer at home and you have fingers that can type, you can build a service on top of it.
Okay.
And there,
Which
yeah,
is good or bad? What do you
this
think?
is this is really good. And there's actually a whole economy that is called BaaS. Of course, everybody is familiar with SaaS, like service, software as a service. BaaS is banking as a service. So there's a lot of companies that offer banking capabilities like cards and accounts and credits and so on as a white label. So any person can go on and build a service on top of it, and there's
And
a
that is
lot of competition.
and
Please,
that is actually the big advantage, because you don't need to go through this very heavily process in becoming a bank. You
you don't need a
just
license.
you don't need
Yeah.
a license for that, which make things much easier.
That in Latin America you need licenses, basically.
Uh, that's a trick about this API. To use API, you don't need a license. There's actually a bank not far from here. What bank? Uh, they are not a bank, but they don't have a bank license. But you can get there a banking card. You can open an account. You can even get credits. And they work exclusively with freelancers. If you stop being
Okay.
freelance, they ask you to go away.
Okay. But it's very well structured for the
So,
target.
and their largest service is they use AI to create to do tax declarations for you.
Okay, interesting. And that
That
was like the other question, maybe uh, Roman or Mitja, you can tell me what's the most inclusive and like innovative fintech that you have seen?
innovative. Um, I've there's a um, in B2C for customers. There's one that they call themselves even also like magic. Finance guru. It means like you are the guru of finance. And there have been like 5 people starting a company. And what they do, they use machine learning to try to optimize your personal finances. For example, they say you have, I don't know, you pay for internet that much, too expensive. Here are offers that are cheaper.
Okay, perfect.
And it's quite they work. They actually drew you a map of all possible financial commitments you currently have, and you can cancel them by just clicking.
Interesting.
And this is a really cool innovation. It took some time for them to, but they are successful. I don't know how many people they have now, maybe 7. So
Very narrative. 7 million or seven?
uh, and I believe everybody knows N26. Yeah,
Not in Latin America, maybe, but yes, in
no.
Germany.
They have a slogan: banking, but without bullshit.
Okay, perfect. Straightforward.
Yeah.
So they just lend money and that's it.
No, you can get an account after 20 minutes
Okay, interesting.
I tried
online.
it myself last time. It works.
Okay,
So
yeah.
in Germany, you can imagine, and those people they just disrupted the banking scenery, and now they have about, I don't know, 4.5 million customers or something.
That's amazing. That's the
They-
bank
they
calling. That's a message of the bank that
I
your
mean,
credit has been approved.
I'm personally a big fan of crypto and blockchain technologies, and there is several banks already which implement this kind of synergy between the conventional banking system and cryptocurrencies, or in general blockchain. And like I said, I'm a personal big fan of it. So I think that's one of the biggest innovation which I saw. And by the way, I read last time the news that even the Deutsche Bank, so this is the typical institute of German finance, even starts to implement blockchain into their technology, but for some kind of a stock. So you can invest in cryptocurrency, not paying. I think that will be the next step afterwards.
I have a question there, and maybe it's not in the script. Not that we have very a lot of things scripted, but there's like this lowering down of blockchain and tokenization with the AI, but how can you embed both? And that's something that is getting into the fintech scenario that you have AI and tokenization together. How is that possible, and what is like both of them join what you can do with fintech solutions? There's a lot to be
Um,
done, I guess, but
let's say my personal opinion on that is it is very, very dangerous. Because I mean, the AI is able to see the patterns where the humans are maybe not able to see them in a long term, or in general. AI are capable of that. Imagine someone who is figuring out how to deal with that based on a blockchain, to sell cryptocurrencies, to buy cryptocurrencies, to do some conversion of it for their own advantages. It might get real huge and really fast, because AI can control all of those processes.
so you suggest that both of them cannot live together, or they should not work together?
No, I didn't say that, because everything you restrict make people even more intensive working on it. I just say it should be very careful. So with the, let's say, smaller steps to go into that direction, because it will happen anyway at one point, in the same direction like AI and quantum computing. If you combine both of them, it's like an explosion in a technological way. So it just, from we are as a let's say human being, we need to prepare ourselves for those steps before we do them. So not saying and then thinking, first thinking and then saying.
And a small note: I met several people from Latin America over those our meetups, and interestingly, most of them were into crypto tech. And my personal stand here is, if you dive into this edge of technology, you are actually lucky, because now the hype is over, and the crypto world is professionalized. So all those investors who have spent millions and billions on crypto a couple of years ago, they burned their fingers. Now they will pay attention what kind of companies are growing, and they are actually ready to talk if you have a solid concept. So for like a couple of years ago, it must have been much more difficult because everybody did it. And today, if you are into crypto, you are one of the few, because everybody is doing AI.
Yeah, it's a real market, as you say. Maybe that's it, because the
It's a
boom is
professional
over.
market. It's now, yes, now it's a real technology, and crypto is not NFT. It's not about buying funny ape faces for $10,000 or rocks. There's actually a solid technology that can be used. So the beginnings of Abracadabra was heavily based on blockchain. Actually, we intended to build a thing that we actually still do. It's still in our backlog, in our product map. We realized if a German company hires somebody from Nicaragua or somebody from Bolivia, they probably won't do it, because who is that person? But because you can do anything on your CV, it's absolutely, it can be absolute fiction. Uh,
Whatever you can write, yes.
yes,
Chat
exactly.
GPT.
Exactly.
Mm.
ChatGPT can just ask, write me a cool CV, done. But imagine if every job you ever did is locked in the blockchain. So basically, you have an expert token, we called it, a token that your client validated and said you did it and you did it well. And after this validation happens, nobody can take it away from you. It's solid. And in this case, you are an expert, proven, and it cannot be as an idea.
Yeah, no. Basically, and the concept is traceability. In fact, that would be amazing if eventually we can vote by blockchain. No, in a way.
I would say Roman can talk a lot about differences between blockchain and crypto, and there, what what I'm saying, there is technology that is now really solid, can be used in any sort of products, especially financing and fintech across borders. How do you pay somebody who is in a different continent in a second today? PayPal, maybe, but our first employee was in Kiev, and this developer said, "Well, please pay us in a stable coin."
That's amazing. Yeah, that's better than any euro, dollar, or
Yeah,
Exactly, and it was so fast. So we agreed on that currency, and I did a transfer, and it was in seconds done. So he got his money on his wallet, and that's all. So no problem with any banks or conversion rate.
Frictionless.
Yeah, exactly, frictionless. And
Amazing.
we still that is our point regards Abracadabra. So one is that expert token, and the second big feature is paying system. To I mean the Abracadabra as an idea, or in general as a concept, is
Don't
for
disappear.
sorry.
Do not disappear now.
That
Yeah,
every time we say abracadabra, you suddenly disappear.
Exactly. It is for freelancers, and freelancers are actually worldwide. So what we want actually to do with Abracadabra is to break those borders between countries, between different systems, like a German company who is hiring the developer from Nicaragua or from South Africa, or whatever. So those are all troubles where the people maybe even don't get a good job because they just, let's say, I don't know, lucky or unlucky, doesn't matter in that case, but they cannot have that connection. And the Abracadabra is what actually breaks those walls between countries, in order to allow the people just normally do their work what they like, and be paid with that amount of money where they can live their normal life and enjoying it, not just counting cents.
And what you say, in a way, is something that I was going to ask you: how to work with multi zones, and that's pretty much your answer, no? With different time zones, with different countries. That's the way
Yeah.
to do it. Guys, one of the things that usually, and I always try to do this exercise, we as Latin Americans, we have a lot of creativity, talent, and stuff, but sometimes we tend to go to the same places. Usually it's for us, the US, and some places in Europe, but nowadays it's very common, as you guys say, Berlin, but why Germany? Why try to make the link with Germany and not going somewhere else? We don't like the rain. Of course, it's not the rain, but the environment. I think it's one of the most exciting ecosystems, especially in the whole Europe, is Berlin. No,
Um,
and not the
I
nightlife either. No.
uh, I remember a really difficult week for me 5 years ago. I was sitting in Osaka. I finished a long job and I had to decide to what corner of the world to move next. Really bad time. I mean, the world is so big. And you're like, okay, and you need to make a decision. And actually, to move to Colombia was one of my targets. You won't believe.
Really? No,
Yeah,
I don't believe you. Either.
yeah, it is. It was because I have several friends there, and there's actually a startup community where I was invited to. So I just like I love Spanish, and I really would like to learn. But and you, and then I calculated where in the world I can move, where I can start something from zero as quickly as possible. Like I have zero connections. Where do I go? And I started to Google. Of course, there's New York. But then if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. It's obviously a hard place to be. There's obviously not Silicon Valley. And people talked about Lisbon or Lisbon or Berlin. And but then people talk even more. If you go to Berlin, basically you only need English. People don't speak German here. If you don't speak English, there are a lot of restaurants you won't be able to order because the staff speaks only English and maybe Spanish. And I moved here and I was really fascinated how in this rainy, gray, cold, and covered in graffiti town. People act like, hello, hey, welcome. And you are instantly in a team, in a group, you are connected. I've
And there
never
is
experienced that before.
and there is actually the reason for that. Why Berlin in the whole Europe? If you look, for example, for Lisbon or I don't know Barcelona, Paris, there are cities which have quite a long history already, and they did those steps through the history slowly, and everything was smooth more or less. But Berlin was splitted after the Second World War, and the city developed completely different based on in which area of the city you live. So, and then 30 years ago, they combined everything. So they actually one part of the Berlin starts from scratch. And due to that move, the people had to communicate to each other, had to build the new connections, and they built this kind of I mean, it's not a tradition, but this way, like to be more open minded, because it's not so long ago that they had to do that anyway. And I mean, we are lucky that at one point we joined the Berlin and could participate from that. I can imagine in, I don't know, 50, maybe 100 years, that would be completely different. And but at least now, at that period of time, we can participate from that openness.
If something crazy happens, people say, that's Berlin, baby. Every time.
Okay, okay. Which Berlin baby technology wise we can see very soon.
What do you mean? What is
Like you say that something crazy is
ah
Oh,
uh,
for
ah,
sure, it's carrot.
nice. Okay. uh, tell me about carrot.
Mitya, come on, it's your baby.
it was actually a gift from San Francisco. Um, we talked to many freelancers, and then we thought about how can we launch the first version of an automated system that does client acquisition, project management, communication with a client, payment, and that whole cycle. And then we thought, well, the first point is client acquisition. But this is a point where freelancers don't really it's not a big part of their life. Biggest part of their life is being yelled by their client at. Uh, so, and we thought, let's go to small companies, small medium enterprises, and because our logo, of course, we had to have a carrot, because what does a bunny hunt for? If you hunt for clients, you get this. And what we are building, and it's almost done after, I don't know, like 2 months, 15 hours a day coding, um, is an AI-based, heavily AI-based automated system that generates business proposals with all of it. And I wouldn't like to spend too much time into details, but we are online live for testing in January. I mean, Roman is a project manager here. He has Volkswagen behind his back. So,
But that was a surprise. By the way, talking about bunnies, we have also the Cuemby rabbit bunny.
yes,
Yeah. So one of the agreements that we're going to do in this webinar is that you guys launch by CCP, that is our platform as a service, and you guys are going to launch the carrot with the bunny first. How do you think we
sounds
can do that?
sounds great.
Nice,
let's
nice,
yeah,
nice.
it fits when the shoe fits. Yes,
When there's bunny, there's carrots. That's it. You know.
absolutely.
Exactly.
But one of the things, and it's amazing what you say, because usually, and we can say that card also is the yell free platform, no? Because usually is, as you say, people get yelled a lot because they make mistakes. And one of the things that I understand that you say is that the value proposition that you offer not
Uh,
only is the
yeah,
value, but it's also that is easy, and that people will not come back again because
the
everything
biggest
works smooth.
the biggest reason for any work-related conflict is misunderstanding. People thought differently about anything. So if a entrepreneur, if you're a freelancer, you are an entrepreneur. Or if you send a proposal to a client because the client asks how much, those two words are really dangerous, because if you respond just with a number, uh, two of you have a different idea what that means. And somewhere along the project, you will fight because suddenly the reality is catching up with you. So that's why we try to generate a proposal that is at least like 5 to 10 pages long, and not just text. It also says to the client, you do have to do research, and that research is your time, and the time is going to be paid. And after the research, you do I don't know, drafting. After the draft, you have to present to the client. This presentation is also an hour or two. Of course, you are going to be paid for this because it's work. And after a week, you have to meet again because you have to align. And after basically several seconds, you will have a document that tells to your client, your job is done in 27 days and 5 hours. This is the number, this is the price that you are asking. And from our like decades long experience, I can say people are too afraid to ask for more because they think the client will say no, you are too expensive. But actually what the client is saying is not you're expensive, but I don't trust you. Because if you can describe the project so clearly, then the client is paying not for you. The client is paying for the uh, for a guarantee that you get the result.
I know how that is eventually is costly, and what you say is one of the biggest concerns when people start to build up a business is trust. and
Trust.
usually it's so hard to tell people I know, and this all makes sense what you have done on this journey from uh blockchain, cryptos, and evolution with AI and stuff, because one of the things that you have done is experience, and you have understood is how clients interact with companies, and one of the things that you just basically solve is trustiness or be trustworthy. Amazing.
Yeah.
I think the time is running out, but one of the things that we want to do, like very soon, and maybe within 2 weeks, is that we have a live demo of both platforms. What do you say? Shall we do it and integrate them, and that people understand how Abracadabra works?
I'm asking my project manager here.
Okay, okay, hold on. Let's wait. What he says. He's in Slack.
uh, we definitely can agree on follow up and show us show some stuff. I mean, that wouldn't be, let's say, perfect. Uh,
Abracadabra. Now he's gone.
Abracadabra, Jose. Now you're disappearing.
That was the word. I
Yeah,
just disappeared.
abracadabra. Exactly, exactly. What I actually, what I would suggest is we are going this end of November and
Mhm.
beginning of December to Slash event in Helsinki.
Sure.
So and let's do maybe after Helsinki, because we have to prepare ourselves for that event and also do our product, continue developing on that. So after slash we have, let's say, more chill out time to, to talk about it.
Okay, perfect.
How it
The-
sounds.
No, no, that sounds perfect. It's basically so that people understand the concept, and we understand how to connect it and how to deploy it in a community. But live, that's simply it. Let's do it after November.
Great.
Helsinki, after Helsinki.
Helsinki, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Guys, since the time is running out, but there's a lot of to be covered, and we have another meeting after Helsinki. That's after November. What do you think we can take from the German ecosystem, or especially we're going to rephrase it, the Berlinese ecosystem that is very important to implement in Latin America?
Implement in Latin America. Okay.
I have two words I can say immediately: project management. But this is your expertise.
I mean, what definitely is advantage of, let's say, Germany and Germans in general. They are very, let's say, structured in the way of they're doing work, in the way they're mostly doing everything, and I think that is one of the biggest and useful things which, combined with Latin America happiness for life, might give you such a huge advantage, because to learn to proceed in a several way, to be more consistent, is easier than, for example, to German for Germans to learn about
Happiness of life.
happiness of life. So definitely a big advantage.
Basically, eh, I quite understand, and it's basically organizing stuff, and Germans are very good
Oh yeah,
uh, at
Exactly.
organizing stuff, and it's one of the things that usually not in all Latin America, but we tend to be, as you say, very happy, and sometimes calculus they don't work as they should. But that's one of the things that maybe we can highlight is that nowadays with agile methodologies, that's something that cannot be postponed. But have you seen any stories or any cases of success of German application with agile methodologies that work faster because they're German in a way?
that please.
Okay. I mean, agile. I mean, I was working for Volkswagen.
You know a little bit about that.
I mean, agile and some of the biggest corporation is not combining with each other. Somehow, it's not working at all. um, yeah, at least let's say the big corporations, they really struggle with applying this kind of agile methodology and developing that. So the startups have, or smaller companies have, definitely huge advantage on that one, because they can reflect and react on the situation much faster and do the thing. So if you're asking about successful story, look on all those startups from Germany, which is actually a lot of them very successful, and they are those who implement those agile methods, scrums, safe, whatever it calls.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So, Roman, Mitya, any last thoughts? You're coming to Colombia, you're coming to Latin America. When? How? After Helsinki.
Um,
But we need the rabbit with the carrot. So,
Everybody needs the carrot.
okay, okay. Where can we find you right now? Or is up till Helsinki that you're going to release the website?
GetCarrots.io. It's the main domain where you can sign up for for the first alpha. You can be you can join the waiting list.
Okay, perfect.
And so because we are this uh, startup that as people imagine it to be, because we do everything in a garage ourselves, day in, day out, nights inclusive, and it's going to be live hopefully soon.
By the
Otherwise,
way, you have a very beautiful garage.
That I see.
and I have a case. I have a case of energy drinks.
Okay, okay, nice. Uh, let's wait and see, guys. Really, thank you very much. I know it's very late in Germany, I guess,
Fine.
or late at night. Here it's still sunny, or at least after that pink font that I have there. It's quite early. And guys, thank you very much. Hope to see you very soon. We are very
Thank you,
excited,
Oscar.
and we're waiting for seeing that carrot on top.
Glad of having
Jose,
us.
thanks a lot for inviting us. That was a real cool talk, and I learned also some Spanish. Gracias por la invitación.
Danke, Shaik Roman.
So, and see you next time.
And Mitya, where's your Spanish?
No hablamos más de este asunto.
Okay, fair enough. Guys, thank you very much. It's a
Bye.
pleasure knowing you, and hopefully we'll see you very soon. And good luck with carrots. Take care.
Thank you.